Welcome back, makers. If you're new here, my name is Jeanette Fryer. I am the owner and creator of JeBelle Sheek. So you guys, we are into it. We are into fall. So you see, I am wearing my shirt. I am in a swap group. Poor George Creative sent me this shirt, you guys, and I am in love with it. So you guys, check her out if you're looking for some fall shirts or things like that. I would definitely link her shop below. So once again, we are into fall, at least over here at JeBelle Sheek. So you guys, I am so excited to bring you my first fall tumbler here on my channel, and I could not be happy to share this tumbler tutorial with you all. So we're going to be using some fun glitters that I just got in, and also a fun pattern vinyl from North 80 on Etsy, and I would definitely link that shop below as well. So you guys, I can rumble on and on as to how much I love fall. It's just my favorite season of the year because I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I just love all the fall decorations, and it just makes me feel so cozy. So I just want to just, you know, curl up on the couch, you know, with a good book and a, you know, and a great cup of coffee or things like that, and just, you know, and just relax my day away. So you guys, so once again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you have not clicked that notification bell, click that bell as well. And if you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel out. So I think that is enough for me. Let's get into this fall tumbler tutorial. Let's go. Let's get into this tumbler. So I'm starting with a fully prepped and sanded tumbler. This is a 20-ounce skinny straight by Craft Haven, and therefore it has no taper. So like I said before, I've already sanded it and just gave it a light coat of white paint by Rustoleum. All right, so let's get into our vinyl, you guys. Let's get into our vinyl. So the vinyl that I'm going to use is this pretty plaid pattern from North 80 on Etsy. I would definitely link the link to that shop below in the description. But y'all, it's just definitely giving me all the fall vibes. So I am really excited to use this tumbler. So to use this pattern vinyl. So I want to start off by doing a full wrap on this tumbler. And in order to do that, I think you guys have seen me do it many times before. I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of measure out where I want to kind of stop and start, just a starting point. And y'all know that I definitely cut off. I think I'm going to have to take this out in order to do what I need to do. But y'all know that I definitely leave some stainless steel at the top and the bottom. So in order to cut it, I'm definitely going to have to take my tape off. But that's okay because it definitely just gave me, you know, I definitely didn't get paint on that stainless steel portion that I wanted to leave open. So I'm just going to kind of general map out where I want to cut off the excess, and think about right here, just so I'm not wasting any of this vinyl. Okay, so off camera, I'm just going to use my paper cutter and cut this off, and then we'll be back to wrap the tumbler in the vinyl. So as I said before, off camera, I just use my paper trimmer just to trim off the excess, so I'm not wasting any vinyl. So maybe I can use that excess for another project. So, and then I did just go ahead and cut off some excess here of the biker sheet just to expose some of the vinyl, just so we can get it on easier. So in order to establish a straight line, I'm just going to use my little paper cutter tool here and just get a pencil. I'm going to butt it up against, it's like a little stopping point here. So I'm just going to butt it up against here and just use the open end just to draw a straight line. So kind of give me a guide when I apply my vinyl. So nothing special here. I just use the open end, butted the tumbler up against this part, and just drew a line down. So I see other people use all of these other fancy tools, and I have one of those as well, but I can't find it now. So I had to improvise. So I did leave some excess at the top and the bottom, so when I use my paper trimming tool, I do have a good guide point. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the vinyl, I'm going to line it up against the line that I just drew. And then I am just going to start rolling the biker away from the vinyl. So in order to do that, as I'm rolling, I'm just making sure I don't have any bubbles. And take your time doing this process. So you want to get it as smooth as possible. So I'm using my tumbler holder here, so that is just definitely helping me out. So as I'm rolling, I'm just spinning it on my tumbler holder, and it's definitely helping me keep everything nice and straight. And if you notice yourself getting some bubbles, you know, just lift it up and correct it and keep going. Alright, so I'm just going to take my paper and just trim off this part, because in hopes that when I take the excess off, it can still be on the backer sheet and I'm not wasting that. So the line here, I'm just making sure everything is nice and smooth. So when I remove the, when I cut it, I don't have any stainless steel showing through. So what I'm going to do next, you can take some painter's tape or some any type of tape. I just grabbed the closest tape to me. I'm just going to take some washi tape and I'm just going to kind of line it up against that line, that seam. It's kind of hard to see because it's everything kind of looking the same, but just make sure that you can see where you're cutting, because what you don't want to do is cut in the wrong spot and you have stainless steel showing. So take your time, and I'm just leaving just a hairline overlap, just a hairline. All right, next I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to just press, I'm just going to cut up against that line. All right. Put them on the wrong side of the tape. Okay. All right, I'm just going to move my tape. Okay. All right, so we're just going to take this excess off. And I did have a little of the stainless steel showing through, or the white paint, but that is okay, because when we go into the next step, you'll see why that doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll definitely correct that. But if you was just doing it and it was definitely showing, you do want to make sure that your seam is seamless. Okay. All right, so it was definitely hard to see on this plaid vinyl to see where to cut the tape line, but I got it as close as I could. It could be a lot better, but I'm not worried about it because we're definitely going to correct it in the next step. So here I have my paper trimmer tool, and I'm just going to butt it up against it really tight and just spin the tumbler on it. So as we're spinning, it is cutting. I normally do about 2 spins just to get it, just to make sure I got closed up the gap. Let's see what we're looking at. All right. I have a perfect edge. All right, we're gonna do that for the top. So 2 spins should definitely be enough. A perfect line. So here I do have some paint showing through. I'm just going to take some acetone and clean that up. That's just because of what I did before, just to make sure the stainless steel was still showing. Art makers, so I did just take some acetone and just clean up the top edge where I have that paint overlapping. There's still a little bit left, but we're going to clean that up in the next steps. So what I'm going to do here, I thought I could find my 1-inch painter's tape, but I could not find it. Y'all, if I say the word please let me know. I said it again. All right, so what I'm going to do is, my cup is about 9.5 in circumference. So I'm just going to take my painter's tape and make some vertical stripes and leave little spacers in there. So when we remove that and do our glitter portion, we're only glittering what we need to glitter, and the vinyl is going to be nice and covered by the electrical tape, if that makes sense. So we're going to start with our little problem area here. So I do want that problem area to be open. So I am going to ensure it's open. I'm just going to put I'm going to use my guide. So this is going to act as a spacer essentially. So I'm just going to put the painter's tape in the middle, the electrical tape in the middle. Make sure it's straight. Okay, so this is going to be my spacer. So how I'm going to tell us my spacer is I'm going to just remove this. So I just know that this is a spacer. All right, so next we're going to do is continue the same process, and we're just going to take the electrical tape and make full lines all the way down the tumbler. In order to make sure that we kind of line up on each side, I'm just going to leave a hairline between each piece of tape, because there was a little line where it wasn't as forgiving when I tested this out. All right, so if I get off frame, I'm just trying to make sure everything is nice and straight, because with painter's tape, it does have a stretch to it, so it kind of may carve. So I'm trying to make sure I don't have that problem. So next is my spacer. So once again, I'm just leaving a little hairline in between that spacer. All right, makers, I'm going to speed this up, and we're going to go all the way around the tumbler. So now that we have all of our tape down, I'm just going to go back through and just try to make sure my spacers look kind of aligned. So I'm going to remove those. So this big piece that I have in the middle is kind of a little off, more water than the other pieces, but it does not matter because when we do our next process, everything is going to be all covered up. So I was explaining our little problem area here. So what I'm going to do is just go over each line and try to make sure everything looks as nice as straight as I can get it. Because painter's tape electrical tape is stretchy and does have a tendency to carve. I took my time and just went back over this tumbler just to make sure all my lines were straight as possible. So I do have a double line here, which I noticed, which I covered up just so that I know when I do this spot, this will be where my decal will go. So it's going to be all right if the line, this stripe is a little bigger, because when we do our decal, you really just not going to see the difference. So what I was trying to make sure I had this problem area exposed, and also my stripes were nice and aligned. So what we're going to do next is, since I already have my painter's tape on here, I'm just going to, my electrical tape, I'm just going to fold these ends in. Just fold everything in. I'm going to take some more electrical tape. The bottom. And we're just going to put more electrical tape here. And just close up the edges. So I'm just following the edges where the vinyl is. And connecting on the other side. I'm sorry, you guys. I've probably been out of frame like crazy amount of times. So when we're painting, we don't get paint on our exposed steel, stainless steel, if that makes sense. So in order to do the top, I'm just going to put my spinner back on. And take our electrical tape again and do the same thing to the top as well. I hope I didn't confuse you guys with those lines, but if I did, just place those questions in the comments below, and I will definitely get back to you. Like I said, every tumbler is going to be different with the line spacing. You just have to kind of measure it out and see where you want to put your lines. All right, so bottom line, the areas that we have exposed are going to get painted, and that is going to be where we apply our glitter. Now that I have everything taped off, and I just went back and just flattened everything, make sure everything is nice and sealed, so when I do my paint, I won't have any bleeding. So these are the two colors we're going to be using for our ombre process. It's going to be a gloss orange by Cryoline, and a satin lagoon by Rustoleum. And I don't think I showed you guys the glitters that we're going to be using. I'm going to be using Fawkes by Peachy Olive Glitters and Turks by Peachy Olive Glitters as well. So these are going to be the two colors I'm going to create the ombre process with. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go outside and do a light ombre on these open areas where the plaid is. I'm going to do the orange at the top and a ombre up to teal here. I think if you guys have seen me doing that before, I would take you guys along with me. However, it is very windy here in El Paso, so I'm just going to go out there and try to tackle through this myself. So I have went ahead and did a light ombre with the colors that I showed you in the previous clip. So next, I'm just going to take the open spaces and apply the Color Flex glitter glue, just a thin coat, just to get the glitter process started. So the open spaces are the only spaces that will be getting the glitter glue. Apply my glitter glue. I'm just going to use my favorite makeup brush to apply the glitter glue to the open spaces. And I just went ahead and just opened up my glitter glue just to apply a dollop. I think that was more than a dollop. So maybe I can carry that over into the other spaces. So I'm going to apply the glitter glue all to the other open spaces. Alright makers, so now that we have our glitter glue applied to the open spaces, I am just going to start applying the glitter. I'm going to start with this Fawkes by Peachy Olive Glitters, and I do not want a thick coat, so I'm just going to put it in my sprinkler, and we're just going to sprinkle it on. And by painting the color, the base color, it's going to allow me not to use so much glitter. Go in with Turks by Peachy Olive Glitters and sprinkle it on the bottom portion. With just a tad more of the orange, just to make more of an ombre here, and I'm just lightly sprinkling it, not much. For the top, just to make sure I close up any of those gaps. Glitter applied, and we have a nice ombre. I'm just going to take some dry parchment paper and roll my tumbler, just to ensure I get this glitter nice and flat, because I do not want it to be thick. portions just to make sure everything is nice and covered. I just use my hairspray just to make sure I have some good adhesion going on. Spots that kind of need to be touched up, so I'm just gonna spray. I don't want any gaps. I'm just using my hairspray just to get some tightness on here. All right, I think that looks good. All right, so I'm just gonna roll it just to make sure everything is nice and flat. Have everything nice and flat. We're just gonna go ahead and remove our tape. Try to keep you guys in frame for this. So I'm gonna start removing the top and the bottom pieces, so that way I'm able to see where the pieces along the side start. Alright, so when we're removing our tape, we're just revealing the vinyl underneath, and y'all, I'm in love. Look at the ombre we created. Such a cool process by taping everything off just to create a ombre between those stripes. Tape getting stuck to each other. Y'all look at that. Oh my God, it's so pretty. It's an ombre, but it's just subtle. So pretty. If rule of thumb, if you think something is going to be problematic, you want to go ahead and take care of it so it won't become a problem. So where the seam kind of met with the paint here, I'm just going to kind of rub that clear. May have to use some alcohol, but so like I said, I thought these areas right here was going to be problematic, so that's why I went ahead and just added some, use my white rain hairspray, apply some more glitter because I wanted everything to be seamless. So I'm going to let this dry at least for a couple hours, and I am going to seal it with 2x matte clear and maybe a coat of glitter glue, I am not sure, and then 2 thin coats of epoxy. But y'all, look at that ombre we have going on with those stripes. So pretty. So here we are back. I did apply 2 thin coats of epoxy just to make sure the stripes were nice in here and the glitter was nice and flat. After that, I did go in and just do a light sand on the edges because that will be where we will be applying our vinyl stripes. I cleaned the inside and the bottom as well, so it is ready to go. So we are going to be using some vinyl stripes to go on the vertical lines. So the white lines that I cut, that's going to be the outside portion, are about 11 wide long and 0.153 in width. And the teal lines are 11 as well and 0.97 in width. So what I'm trying to do is just create the teal is going to be inset into the white, if you get what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and get ready to apply our lines. I'm going to start with the white line first. And I'm just going to put it along the, kind of want it on the inside. Trying to see without covering up too much of my vinyl. So I'm going to put it along the, directly running alongside the glitter line. And then the teal line is just going to go directly center of the white line. This up because you want to, take your time to make sure everything is nice and accurate. So I'm going to speed this up so you guys can see the entire process. Now that we have all of our vinyl applied, it is coming along nicely. What I figured out is that I have to just take my little Cricut tool here and just apply a nice indent here. So when I take my craft knife and cut along the indent, I get a accurate line. So what I did here is just take my little tool here and just trying to make an indent here so I can see when I take my craft knife. And you want to have a very sharp blade here. So I'm just going to take my craft knife along with my glasses and just cut along. So you just want to make sure everything is nice and sharp. And I just cut it there and it made it a nice and sharp line. All right, so I have to be very precise here. So I'm also going to speed this step up as well. So now that we have all of our vinyl stripes cut, everything is looking nice and crisp and clean. So what I want to do, I am definitely in the business of trying to save steps here. So this will be the decal that we're going to be applying to our tumbler. It's called Pumpkin Season, and of course it's vinyl from North 80. It kind of corresponds with everything. However, when looking at it, I was like, okay, if I just put this on top of here, it would not pop. So my solution is to take some paint and primer by Krylon and do like a paint burst in the middle. So when I do apply this decal here, everything is going to pop nicely. So I'm just going to just take this outside and spray paint it quickly. And then I'm going to show you the finished process as to how this pops on this. However, we still have a couple more steps to process with this as well. So I'm going to take this outside and I will be back shortly. All right, so this is how our burst turned out. And just to take some of this overspray off, I just took a microfiber rack with some alcohol and I just kind of want to rough up those edges a little bit. So I'm just gonna go in here just a little bit, just kind of take some of that overspray off of the teal stripes. So you want to do this when the paint has, not dried, of course. If not, you're gonna have to take some acetone to clean it up. So I just want to kind of rough up those edges. And that is exactly. So when I did the overspray, I just held the tumbler very far away so I wouldn't get paint, everywhere. just in the area, you know, that I wanted it to go in. So you can kind of work with this as much as you want to work with it, of course. But you don't want to, you know, overwork it, because if you overwork it, what's going to happen is that you're going to have to go back in and, you know, paint it again. So remember, alcohol just cleans it up. Acetone is just going to take all of the paint away. So alcohol just allowed me to just kind of rough up those edges a little bit. I could have went in with some acetone as well, but I just kind of wanted to look, you know, kind of foggy like it's looking right now. So that would be where we apply our decal. So the next step is, I'm not going to apply the decal over this because I do want these stripes to be sealed in with some epoxy. If not, I will be able to see the, you know, the bumps between the decal. So I'm going to apply a thin coat of epoxy. So here we are after applying our paint spot and applying 2 thin coats of epoxy. I think we're ready to apply our decal. So I'm going to take this very fun decal I got from North 80. It says pumpkin season. Y'all, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm just going to apply it directly over the paint spot. And I'm going to try to get it in the center, because this is the wider spot that I had out of the other line. So I want it kind of in the center of this. I think that looks about right. Just trying to make sure it's straight, but I don't think there's no turning back there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Y'all, doesn't it look so cute? All right, so next I'm gonna apply 2 thin coats of epoxy just to make sure I have everything nice and sealed, and we'll be on to finishing up our first fall tumbler on my channel. Welcome back, makers. We are done with our tumbler. You guys, I know I say this all the time that this may be my favorite, but I just really love this technique. I have been seeing it going around on YouTube a lot as well, so I definitely want to give it a try. I think I saw Brittany Barnes Boutique use this technique as well initially, and I definitely just wanted to give it a try. Y'all, just look at the ombre with those 2 colors. Oh my god, it's just so pretty. And our beautiful decal from North 80 and this vinyl from North 80 on Etsy as well. So I'm definitely into the fall colors, and I think teal and orange have definitely won my heart, you know, this season. So I definitely urge, if you want to recreate something like this, just take your time. Just take your time and, you know, just have fun with it. So I definitely think by adding this paint burst in the middle, it just added that right amount of, you know, background to actually put the decal on here so it will pop. So I definitely think it is popping, you guys. It is popping, and this tumbler is just giving me all the fall vibes. It's just giving me all the fall vibes. So I'm glad I just took a leap, you know, just to try something different, you know, with the ombre pattern and just the vertical stripes as well. So I think I'm definitely going to create something like this again in a different pattern, and of course with different glitters, and maybe a Halloween tumbler, So you guys definitely stay tuned for that as well. So once again, if you have questions as to how I created this tumbler, I know I went a little fast with certain steps, you know, as far as, you know, the measurements and things like that. But like I said, if you have questions, please post those questions in the comments below, and I will definitely get back to you. And I hope you guys enjoy this tumbler. It's just giving me all the fall vibes. It's giving me all the fall vibes. So you guys, do not wait. Create those fall tumblers, and have fun with it. So makers, I did not forget about the quote for today's tutorial. It's not really a quote, I would say. It's just, well, I would say it's just a motivational quote. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So the quote for today's video is, today is for taking care of you. You guys, so I know we as bakers, we sometimes, you know, get so busy and things like that, and you know, with a small business, it just feels like you just need to be working 7 days a week. However, I do urge you just to take, you know, at least 1 day a week or a half a day a week, you know, just for some time to yourself. You know, just, you know, it's fall, you know, curl up on the couch with a good book, or just go get a pedi or a mani or things like that, and just, you know, most importantly, spend time with your family. You know, that's definitely where I think I'm going with this. So Just don't be so engrossed in your small business. I know, you know, we want our businesses to grow. However, you definitely need that me time and that family time as well. And I definitely think that's very, very, very important. So I really hope that this quote inspires you. It definitely inspires me as well. So you guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have not, click that notification bell, click that notification bell as well. And most importantly, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed today's video, click that thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel out. I can just create fall tumblers, I don't know, for the next 10 or 15 videos. But you guys, I am definitely looking forward to creating Halloween tumblers and most of all, Christmas tumblers. So definitely stay tuned for those videos coming up as well. So once again, makers, into the next video, you guys keep creating and most importantly, stay blessed. Once again, makers, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you on board. Also, I have created a new Facebook group in which we all gain inspiration from others. It is a safe space to create and share. The link to the group is listed below. Until next time, stay blessed and continue creating.